Sometimes the URL itself has information on what data or what information needs to be processed and shown. These could be wildcards. For example, let's say we go to github.com. It shows the repository information of a particular user and within that of a particular repository. So if we go to github.com/Gramner, that's the user or account name. And under that /Gramex is the repository for that user. And the repository could be anything. The username could be anything. And based on these variables, different information is shown. So to create something like that in function handler, we can use regular expressions in the pattern. So for example, here we say /name/ and then anything in brackets gets captured as a variable and it can be a regular expression. So here we're saying anything between A to Z, that is lowercase letters, plus meaning one or more characters of that, should be captured as one variable, then followed by /age, and then any number from 0 to 9 repeated one or more times should be captured as another variable. This will match a URL like /name/John /age/21. And John could be replaced by anything in lowercase and 21 could be replaced by any other set of numbers. This, when it's captured and it's passed to any function, then the function can use handler.pathargs to get the numbers, to get the values within these groups. So anything in the first captured group is pathargs of 0. Anything in the second captured group is pathargs of 1. These are available as strings, so you need to do any other conversion as required. By default, calculations.nameAge, if you don't pass it a function value, it'll automatically take handler as the value. So that's why nameAge works even without brackets, but you could instead say calculations.nameAge of handler, and it has the same effect. Handler is a special variable that contains the entire function handler's information. Let's try this out. We'll go to the IDE. First, let's create the function. And what we'll do is return something like this. We'll create a Python function. Let's call it calculations.py. And in calculations.py, we'll define nameAge as a function that takes the handler. And it gets the name as handler.pathargs of 0, age as handler.pathargs of 1, and then returns, let's see, okay, name is age years old. That's a sentence we want to return. Let's now go to the configuration in gramex.yaml. We could create a new function handler here, or we could go to the UI where we create the function handlers. Let's open microservices, select function handler. And out here, we'll say wildcard. Path to function is calculations.nameAge. Now, if I just put in wildcard, this is going to match /wildcard to nameAge. But it expects something with brackets like this. So you'll actually see this function fail. Let's try that out. So we'll submit. And let's choose preview URL. And that shows that this application made an error. List index is out of range. In other words, we don't have a path args of 0. So let's replace this with name / we don't need the leading slash, that's automatically added, / I'm going to say dot star to match literally anything. Dot matches any character, star matches 0 or more of those, and plus matches 1 or more. So if we say I want at least one character between name and age, then we can use dot plus, and anything after that is dot plus as well. And save this. So now if we go to /wildcard, oh no, okay, we're calling it /name, right? Fine. So /name /x /age /0. That says X is 0 years old. I could change this to ABCD and 2, 3, 4, 5. That says ABCD is 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. And this can be letters as well. So in this case, what we specified was age can be literally anything. If we wanted it to be only numbers, we could say 0 to 9 in square brackets. So anything in that range will be captured. And if we want only lowercase here, then we could put an A to Z in square brackets. That captures only the letters from A to Z. Now let's save it. And if we tried this, it would not match. It says there's no such file. And only if you put in a number does it work. Now, this can be used to pass pretty much any kind of parameters. So another example is if you want to pass a random number and you say slash path slash anything will pass a random number to this. So I want the start value to be based on the first part of the path and the end to be based on the second part of the path, then you could do that. So instead of name and age, let's say we have, let's create a new function handler called, let's say, a random slash any number. This will be from, let's say, 0 to 9 plus slash any other number from 0 to 9. And well, we'll create our own new function, calculations dot random. We haven't created that function yet, but we will create it. And let's submit this. Now let's write our function in calculations.py. What we'll do is define random to take the handler and return. Well, let's import random.rand range, right? Fine. So from random, let's import rand range, and we'll return rand range of start and end, where start and stop. Sorry. So now we'll have to get start from handler.pathArgs of 0 and stop from handler.pathArgs of 1. But these are strings, so we'll have to convert them into integers. So rather than pass them as strings, which will fail. So now if this works, then we can go to, let's go back to the function handler. The microservice name that we created was called slash random slash a number slash a number. So let's go to slash random slash 10 slash 100. And that gives us a random number between 10 and 100. Let's take a random number between 100 and 1000. So that's 380. And reload, and it keeps giving us a different random number each time. That's an example of the way in which you can use this. Incidentally, if you want to see what handler.pathargs actually has at any point, then one of the ways you can do that is by literally printing handler.pathargs in the function handler. So let's do that. Instead of calculations.random, I'll say handler.pathargs and save it. So now this says that pathargs is an array that contains two values, 100 and 1000. And if I change these values, 500 to 9000, then those values get reflected here. What this allows you to do is create URL structures that can return arbitrary information based on the path arguments. This structure is something that you can use not just for not just for function handler, but also for form handler, for file handler, for pretty much any kind of handler. And handler.pathargs will always carry the information of the items in groups.